I'm Murray Hill. I play Johnny Grand in the brand new film that's coming out this August called Jackpot. Please put your hands together for that staff and crew. Come on, we're going to pretend we're live. There we go.
Yeah.
We are live.
Hey. Murray Hill, everybody.
Yeah.
Murray Hill.
All right, gang. So this is what's happening. Grand Lottery has been a newly established in California, but the catch is that the winner, you have to kill the winner before sundown to legally claim their multi-billion-dollar jackpot. When Katie Kim, played by Awkwafina, moves to Los Angeles,
Thank you.
she mistakenly finds herself with the winning ticket. Desperate to survive the hordes of jackpot hunters, she reluctantly joins forces with the hordes of, I already said that. She reluctantly with the amateur lottery protection agent, Noel Cassidy, John Cena. Let's hear it for John.
Yeah.
Who will do everything in his power to get her to sundown for a piece of her prize. However, Noel must face off with his slick rival, Simu Lui. Let's hear it.
Hey.
There he is.
Guys.
Who will seek to collect Katie's commission at all costs. Jackpot is directed by the one, the only, the best dressed man in Hollywood, Mr. Paul Fieg.
What? Oh, thank you.
Yes, Paul.
Yes.
Hey.
Did you
And
put
the movie was written
No
by
idea.
Rob Yescombe, and you know what they don't let writers on camera, but showbiz.
No.
All right. So welcome the cast of Jackpot. How's everybody doing?
We're good. We're good, Murray. It's good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, good to see you, Murray.
I can tell by that enthusiasm you meant it. But I dressed up as big as this movie is. There are a lot of big personalities in this movie, a lot on the screen today. So, Paul, this movie is absolutely bananas. It's outrageous. It's the summer comedy we desperately need.
Yes.
So, what inspired you to take on this film? And is there anything this film is like other films?
Well, I mean, I was sent this script. It was called Grand Theft Lotto when I first got it. And I thought, that sounds so stupid, I'm not going to read this script and put it on top of my pile. And it was only days later that my producing partner, the great Laura Fisher, called me up and said, you should read the script. It's really funny. And so I picked it up, read it, and I got 40 pages into the 100 pages of it and said, I have to do this movie. To me, it was just too much fun. It's the Jackie Chan movie I always wanted to make. It's an action comedy. I love that from my movies Spy and The Heat. And it was just a chance to really make a very fun, silly, but also kind of emotional story about somebody in over their head.
You have a lot of experience with characters like that, Paul.
Yes, I think so.
And so, Awkwafina, what was the pitch that Paul gave to you to make you want to work on this movie?
Well, it's actually the opposite, because I was kind of attached to the movie, and we were looking for a director. And when Paul was interested, I was so happy, because obviously a huge fan of everything that he has done since Freaks and Geeks. And also like have been friends with him, you know. So we wanted to find an opportunity to work together.
Mm-hmm.
What was the first creative meeting and the discussion that you both had about this film?
Oh, we had dinner.
We had dinner.
Yeah. I mean, we were both really on the same page, I have to say.
Page 40.
Yeah, page 40. I never read past that, by the way. No, it was, I mean, we both wanted to make sure that it felt real and grounded. I mean, it's always dangerous when you do a story about an actor, because it can get very it's hard for an audience to invest in wanting an actor to become famous, just because I think they go, oh, okay, well, that's
true.
Seems more fun than a real, what they consider to be a real job. It is a real job. But we just wanted to make
really.
We just wanted to make sure that it was relatable, that her goals
sure.
were relatable, and I think we did that.
All right, beautiful. Now, Johnny, this role seems right up your alley, given your WWE legacy and comedy acting roles. How was it for you to mix comedy and action in this one?
Oh, that's
that's indicative of my life. It's just a bunch of comedy and action. So it's just another day at the office.
And muscles.
I couldn't agree with you more. I don't think there's anybody better to play an amateur protection agency than me. So thank you. I appreciate it.
And we didn't tell you, John, but Paul asked me, now that you're doing comedy, a lot more comedy, that you're going to do a 20-minute set to all the press representatives here tonight.
It's
So
gonna
we
be
appreciate
avant-garde.
your help.
You're right.
I'm just gonna go up there and be silent for
Right.
19 minutes and 30 seconds and have one knock joke for the end. I'm still deciding which knock joke it's gonna be.
But John
There's
is a
the
guitar
plot.
comic though, so prepare.
You're out. Oh, no.
That's all over my
The
TikTok.
plot of Jackpot 2.
Whatever. I'll watch them.
Is they in your algorithm?
It's in the algo.
Or they're playing
And they're singing it. They're like,
playing it like a drum too. You know what I mean?
they're like,
They
You have to be a one-man band.
Yeah, okay,
they're like, where you at, girl? Yeah, he's doing crowd work on the guitar.
John's like, help, please help. I'm going back to wrestling.
Oh no, I love this gang. They're great. We
miss
would climb mountains together. We won't actually climb mountains together. I'm physically out of breath. But yes, no, this gang's great. I love them.
So Awkwafina, I happen to be on set on a lot of these very physical, demanding stunts that you do. There's a lot of physicality in your role. Can you talk about the preparation that you had to do all these stunts and all this physical work?
Oh man. Well, it did kick off my fitness journey for sure. I will say, that opening sequence, because Simu and I were in a action movie, obviously in one in which he had to train extensively. And for that one, I definitely did not train. I was just like going to like the Sydney Opera House.
You were hanging out.
Yeah, I was going like Westfield. I was like hanging out. But for this one, like I felt like it was important for me to work with the team who was amazing, and my amazing stunt double Kira. And also working with John too. Like I really appreciate the way that John kind of like handles action scenes and is very like about safety and stuff. So I felt like very, very safe, like when doing scenes like as a group, right? But yeah, I was all kicked off my fitness journey, so I have my fitness pal and stuff.
You killed it too. You look great out there.
Oh.
You did a lot of your own stunts. You really just nailed a lot of the physicality and the action. I loved watching it. You were
Yeah,
sick.
same. You were sick too. Thank you.
You guys got the fight.
You kicked a lot of ass.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she definitely did.
Totally.
Now, Awkwafina, you said it kicked off your fitness journey. How's the journey going now that you wrapped filming and the movie's coming out next month?
After I was like, you know what? Because I would wake up and train, and it was put me on, but it's like all right. I went to Hawaii recently. And didn't hold back. I would say. I just want to. I'll just
do a triathlon or something like that.
Yeah, in Hawaii. No,
Triathlon of eating, drinking.
do that breakfast buffet. Am I right? It's like at one point I just like was like sweating.
You were like
walking.
decathlon on that. Let's go.
Decathlon.
Sweating poi.
Just trying to throw like Olympic references in there.
There you go. Well
Right.
done.
Yeah.
So, Simu, we get to hear from you now. You're a very nice guy.
I
You're
promise
very
you, nobody
handsome.
wants to. But
Oh no, that's not.
I'm not gay, but I find you very attractive, Simu. But in this film, you play the bad guy. You really do. You're the antagonist. So
do I?
did you like playing the bad guy, and did you have to do some training for that?
I mean, is he a bad guy, or is he really just like a really solid entrepreneur with
Okay.
Very ambitious.
a very ambitious guy, solid business practice? I mean, when you're introduced to Lewis, I mean, he's just like he's kind of a boss, he's everything that Noel, John's character wants to be or wanted to be. And whereas, Noel is kind of this kind of amateur, like insurance salesman, ambulance chasing, giant
Obvious.
man who's, just running after people, just like, oh, hire me. Like, Lewis has the money and the resources to hire, to rent out billboards. So he's got billboards. He's, and he's got like a whole compound and a whole staff working for him. So like if you won the grand lottery, Murray, who would you go with? Would you go with Wall Street over here? Or would you go with,
The
some
horseshoe loves Endicott Steel.
No, I
Remember that.
Mind you, his agency also kills people. But I mean, but that's.
Buddy,
but I
let's
mean,
talk
other than
about
that,
Verified.
aside from that,
There's an
it's like,
independent investigation that's going on. It's neither confirm or deny these rumors. I mean,
We're opening it back up. The case is being opened back up.
Let's just say nobody rocks a three-piece white suit like it's
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Except for you, Paul. Come on.
well,
Oh yeah, no, yeah, right.
you know, well, and Mr. Cena.
did you guys
Three-piece white suit, that's tough to pull off.
it-
I'd see was the guy for that, for
Right.
sure.
There's a lot of stunts in this film, and I'm gonna actually answer this question after you do, because I have a story that I just told somebody about the stunts in this film. Now, did any of you, John, did you do your own stunts for this film?
So I think Nora said it best. My concern is always safety, but I always want to do as much of the activity as possible. And what I loved about a lot of the action in this film is it's comical, but it's also realistic. There's a scene in a strip mall where you go through like a karate studio, a yoga studio, et cetera, where what I loved about Paul's creativity, and I think I'm speaking for Paul here, but when he says it's the Jackie Chan movie that I wanted to film, when you look at the way Jackie tells a story, he'll choreograph a fight when he gets on set. So he'll see the audio guy or a bottle of water or a loose chair, and he'll incorporate all those things into the action. I thought the stunt team did an incredible job of incorporating various things you'd find in a karate dojo, the individuals that you're fighting with, and then we get into the yoga studio, and all that yields itself to comedy as well. So in situations where things were safe, I was definitely happy to do it, but man, oh man, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not grateful for my stunt double, Spencer Thomas, because when safety is a concern, all it takes, you lose one of your testicles and you find out you only got two more, and you're like, man, safety is now my prime concern. So I'll do whatever is asked of me, but when they want the stunt double to come in, Spencer's my guy.
Save the balls. That's what we say. Save the balls.
Yeah, I only got two left.
You're just down to two,
Awesome.
huh? Wow,
Yeah.
that's rough.
Thank you for sharing.
John, the math's not mathing. 3 balls? Those are 4
Right, he's
balls with a
built
stunt
different,
double.
all right? He's built literally different. He's got a
And
third
what
nut.
about you, Simu?
I would say, yeah, probably like 90 to 95%. I think a lot of
Simu's a lot braver than me. Simu did
No,
mostly
I had I think my movements were a lot more kind of straightforward. I think there was a couple of falls and things that I had an amazing stunt double, Will, who stepped in. But did you remember when I sent a stunt guy to the hospital?
Oh,
Well,
well,
little contact.
A little,
Yeah,
little contact, yeah.
It was
Don't let that smooth son of a bitch fool you. He's an athlete. He's totally gifted.
oh yeah,
He could do everything, and man, he was like taking the choreography and amplifying it. Very gifted. Very gifted with.
Oh man, no,
Thunder,
thank you
lightning,
so
and there's a
much.
storm coming.
Shout out to
He's our cop. He's our
cop. Yeah, it was a scene where I was supposed to do a back kick and I couldn't really see where I was kicking. And so in this one take, I think it just wires get crossed, something happened, and I just felt so bad. But I
For
think
the sake of the story,
it's
we'll call
okay.
him Don Smashmouth.
You're
he was
right.
a trooper. He was
He was back. That guy was back on set
He
within an hour.
yeah.
That's another thing. Yeah, he did come back.
Oh yeah. No,
He was filled with vengeance and hate when he came back.
He was seeking revenge.
all of his hits were a lot tougher after that. For sure.
Well, the whole stunt team on the movie was like they were like the best, and
Yeah.
without them, action movies like really can't exist. You know what I mean?
And I think they were also happy to do like an action comedy. They'd been doing
Right,
so much serious choreography.
right.
Yeah.
They were having fun with the fact that they could laugh at some of the stunts and make some of
Yeah.
the stunts into jokes.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
Well, shout out to James Young and
James
his
Young,
team,
yeah.
because
Killed it.
when we met with James, he had just come off of doing a lot of serious stunt work,
Right.
and he was so happy when I told him what we wanted to do with this.
Right.
He and I are both Jackie Chan fanatics, and we love Warner Brothers cartoons and
Yes.
old, Buster Keaton and all that. So we piled it all in, left nothing on the table.
Showbiz. Now, I don't know if John, Simu, and Awkwafina know about this, Paul, but my first day on set, we were going to rehearse all the action with the flamethrower and then shoot after lunch. But there was rain was coming. So at 7 a.m., all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're going to do it now. I was like, oh. So the shot was, so I did my own stunt. So I'm answering the question. I did nobody,
Nice.
they couldn't find Newman to come and do my stunts for me. Or
God.
Nathan Lane wasn't available. You know, Paul was so excited. It was the first scene and the first shot. He's like, okay, we got this flamethrower, Murray. It's real. It's live. It's got gas coming out of it.
I
You're
remember.
going to hold it up like this with
It was
one
heavy.
hand, and it's going to shoot out 20 feet. Okay, all excited. Okay, go. Give it to him. All the safety teams were there. Nobody was around me. This huge production, the safety guy comes over. Huge muscles, John. Kind of, you know, makes you look like me on Ozempic, you know, that kind of big muscles. And he gives me the flamethrower to hold in one hand, and Awkwafina, John, and Simu, this is what happened.
Oh no.
It was too heavy for me. So the entire stunt and production team was going to build a mechanism for it to hang down so that it looked like I was holding it with two hands. So the first scene of the movie, I'm emasculated, and now everybody knows I can't lift a goddamn thing. So you were absolutely correct that the stunt team is amazing, and we ended up shooting it with both hands. My suit didn't catch on fire,
Yep.
and I was flaming.
And you crushed it too. You
Yeah.
it's in the
You
movie.
crushed.
Watch
Yeah.
all the way to the end of the movie, and you will see
Gotta-
Murray Hill.
Gotta
wielding
love your
flame.
transparency, Murray.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, and if you see my eyes going a little bit of this, because when I'm saying the lines, I'm trying to not light myself on fire. That's showbiz. Okay. So,
You give for your art, my friend. You give for your art.
That show.
showbiz.
That is
Okay, so Paul, you have quite the reputation
Uh-oh.
for casting very eclectic and talented people in your movies, and you got everybody in this movie. And I like to think that you also cast misfits, me included in that. So we got Sean William Scott, we got Taylor Ortega, Aiden's in it, Dolly DeLon, Donald. So tell me how you went about getting this entire wild cast together.
Well, when I do comedy, I've got people that I work with who I know are what I call money in the bank, who can literally show up. They have one line that just like, oh, they went over there, and I know they're going to come in and make it into something else. We had the amazing Holmes, who was our Uber driver, and Holmes and Taylor Ortega and Sean had all been in a show that I produced called Welcome to Flatch that was on Fox for 2 seasons before it got canceled. Thanks, Fox. And it was like a farm team for me of these new up-and-coming
And they were
comedy people.
amazing. They were so funny.
Also funny. And
Michael Hitchcock.
Oh, Mike Hitchcock, you know, the legend that is Michael Hitchcock. Then Dolly DeLeon, who I saw in Triangle of Sadness, who was so great. I couldn't believe we got her. And no, so I like to just have a deep team of really talented comedy people who are going to take what we have and make it into something else.
And you know what I noticed from set, because I know I worked with you on Welcome to Flatch too, and it was such a camaraderie. And this film, it was, you know, it's like, oh, there's chemistry, everybody's getting along and all that stuff, but it really was like, you know, backstage at the Largo. It was all these cool comedians, gay, you know, trans, Awkwafina, whatever John is, you know, so it was all these different kind of comedians getting along, and I think it really translates. Even
Now
though
I'm just a
Simu
guy
is
with two
the
balls.
bad guy.
No, Murray, we would go to like restaurants, and my wife and I and Lori, and we'd come in, and all you guys would be at a giant table together making each other laugh. I was like, it just makes my heart take flight when I see all you guys you know, having so much fun together off screen.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Awkwafina, I should tell Paul now. Paul, you paid for those dinners, so thank
What?
you so much to Amazon. And
I reported it. I
Jackpot.
thought somebody had stolen my car.
We charged it too. We were charging it
Oh
too.
boy, thanks a lot. Thanks for your camaraderie.
Showbiz. So, speaking of cast, you had a big pop culture star, Machine Gun Kelly,
Exactly.
with an exaggeration of himself. It's not something I knew I needed to see, but I'm happy that I did.
Yep.
So, Awkwafina, John, what was he like on set?
He was great. Machine Gun Kelly, I was fortunate enough to have Machine Gun Kelly play a live serenade for a WrestleMania that I was in, so I'd met him before. I thought he was spectacular because he didn't take himself too seriously. And he was very open he was providing jokes, he was very open to trying jokes. man, he was really great to work with on set. Yeah, he was fantastic.
Yeah.
He truly was. He was like improving. He was super open and warm, I would say. And
He got the
funny.
jokes. Like,
Yeah.
He got jokes.
Yeah.
He got hella jokes. And when he felt comfortable, it was really fun. And I mean, that scene, John, was really hard for me to not
what a
like.
day that was. It's good.
That was
good fun.
crazy. You were on one too that day. That was
Such
that
good
was
fun.
really
Watch the end credits.
watch the end credits. Watch the end credits. That was like so funny. I still think about it.
Yeah, I have to give a shout out to Colson Baker.
Yes,
Also known as
Colson.
Machine Gun Kelly. He, when we hired him on, we'd heard he was interested in doing something like this, and I had a Zoom with him, and he seemed really great. But at the same time, I was like, oh no, a rock star is going to show up. I don't know what's going to happen. And he came in so ready to play.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that he lets us throw him in a pool and drag his head down
Yeah.
the cement stairs. And
Yeah,
no, I am a fan for life.
Yeah.
And we got him pre-fangs. So there you go.
Mm.
See,
Does he have fangs now?
yeah, he got fangs.
Oh man,
Jeweled
cool.
fangs.
it's a moment in history. That
Exactly.
now you got to watch this movie.
Love you, Colson.
Wait, the fangs were part of the wardrobe department, or that he really has fangs?
He just did it. He just did it recently. I saw if you go to the
Fangs now.
feed,
Yep.
you'll see exactly.
Oh my God, a spoiler during the jackpot. I snuck it. Oh
There
my
you
God,
go. You heard it here, Murray.
Showbiz.
Exclusive.
So, gang, we have a few more minutes left. Is there anything in general you want to say? We all need to be entertained. The summer's been hot as hell, and
Yeah.
what are you looking forward for the audiences to enjoy while they're watching Jackpot this summer?
Well, I'll jump in just because my goal with this movie and with this cast was to make just the most fun movie that people have seen in a long time. I think, there's lots of fun things out there, but haven't been that many things recently that are just dedicated to letting you laugh
Right.
and just have a crazy good time. But there's still the heart and emotion in there. But I just couldn't be prouder of this movie. And I think it's kind of exactly what we need right now, especially in the middle of August. So August 15th, I hope everybody shows up and just has the best time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right, and Awkwafina, you've worked with Paul a bunch. We knew each other back in the East Village. What are you looking forward to with Jackpot coming out?
Man, I'm looking forward to people just kind of like enjoying it. I think that it is kind of like there's a lot of things at play. I think that there's a lot of messages in it that kind of go beyond just a kind of like a broader action comedy kind of world. There are things. There's a lot of heart. There's a lot of emotion. I think that also it's a style within its own of fighting. Like James Young, the way the choreography, the way it's shot. It's so elegantly kind of cut together. I mean, it's just its own language of this like, kind of comedy, physical comedy world. That I hope people just enjoy. And I guess August.
Yeah, August 15th.
Yes, it's very hot that month.
Yeah.
Now we got time for one more question, and comedy duos is a very tried and true format, but this comedy duo with Awkwafina and John is something I haven't seen before, and not even from a height perspective. I mean, it is unbelievably wild watching you two crack each other up and do all this crazy stuff. So do you want to talk to me about, I would say this is Paul, a very modern day comedy lovable duo. So do you kids want to talk about a little bit about, your trading places kind of vibe?
First of all, thanks
For-
for
for-
damn, I love that. Thank you so much. Norm was great. I think you can you put yourself in the best place when you create an environment to bring the best out of those around you. And I don't have to, nor we had great conversations on set. Still, whenever we get a chance to catch up, it's like we never missed a beat. And I think that, from my perspective, that makes me relaxed. It makes me swing big. It makes me take chances. I knew that I could have, what do they call it? Creative necessity on set, and everything is fine. And you just created an environment where I wasn't ashamed to be me. And I think you get, hopefully I try to do the same thing for you. Simu as you as well, and Paul with you as a director. we all have talent, strengths, and gifts, and I think when we get to flex those muscles and learn a little bit on the way, we can put together something good. So
Yeah, you definitely did do that too.
Mm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, it was one of
I
the.
like how you got in flex muscles in there, John.
Always
gonna wear a
selling.
tank top, but
There you go. But it was honestly, with all the stress of what we had to do, it was one of the lowest stress shoots I've ever had because
Really?
everybody had so much fun the whole
Mhm.
time. Everybody got along so well. It was just great.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole vibe on set was like going to a carnival.
Yeah, exactly.
it was,
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
That on
and,
screen. So
just like we're going on all the rides. We're going to have every ride there. We're going to have the volcanoes. We're going to have the flamethrowers. We're going to have the misfits. We're going to do it all.
exactly. We loaded it up.
Somebody's gonna
It's a
win the
loaded
money.
deal.